Hello, our names are Michael.
My name is Osmar.
And John.
You are listening to the Talk with Jigothy podcast, where we talk about Trevor's Noah early years.
And here sponsoring our show is the one and only Gatorade.
We've got a great show lined up for you today. We're diving into Trevor Noah's early journey, focusing on what it was like growing up during apartheid in South Africa. We'll talk about the huge challenges he faced and how he navigated his situations on a mixed-race kid and the key people who shaped his life during those early years.
We'll explore some of the most important moments and the people who had a huge impact on Trevor's life, especially from the first two chapters of Born in Crime, from his fearless and determined mom to the struggles as he faced a mixed-race child during apartheid. We'll break down how these early experiences shaped who he is today.
Let's dive into our first topic. In Chapter 1, Trevor shares his experience growing up in apartheid, South Africa, and the struggles his family faced simply because he was born a crime. His mother, who was black, and his father, who was white, couldn't be seen together in public because of the strict racial laws of the time. Trevor's very existence was illegal, which created so many challenges for his family right from the start. Let's talk about what that must have been like for him growing up in a world where his own identity was considered a crime.
We'll also get a deeper look at Trevor's mom, Patricia, who played such a huge role in shaping his life. She's fearless and really strong, not just in the way she fought against the system, but in how she raised Trevor in a world that constantly tried to limit him. She was funny too and used humor to help him see the world differently. Patricia was determined to give Trevor a better life, one where he could dream beyond the limitations of apartheid. Even though the world was against them, she did everything she could to make sure she had the tools to survive, succeed, and think for herself.
One key story that really stands out is how Trevor wasn't allowed to be seen in public with his dad because of the strict racial laws in apartheid South Africa. His mom and dad's relationship and Trevor's very existence were considered illegal by the government. This is a huge challenge for Trevor, and it really shows how deep the racial divisions were at the time. Not only did it separate families, but it also forced Trevor to grow up in a world where his family had to hide parts of their identity. This kind of situation must have been confusing and difficult for Trevor as a child. Imagine knowing that your own dad couldn't walk down the street with you or show up at your school because of the color of his skin. It's not about the physical separation, it's about the emotional and psychological toll that the kind of rejection can have on a child. For Trevor, this must have made him feel like he didn't fully belong here anywhere. He was too light-skinned to fit in with the black kids, but too black to fit in with the white kids. The constant sense of being outsider, not accepted by the English side, probably shaped the way he viewed the world and the way he built relationships later in life.
Highlights how complicated and unfair life was for Trevor's family. Despite the love his parents had for him and for each other, the government's racist laws forced him to hide that love, making something as basic as a family bond feel illegal. Trevor grew up in an environment where the very fact of his own existence was seen as wrong by society. That must have been incredibly difficult for him to understand as a child. This situation likely made him question a lot of things about identity, belonging, and what it means to be a part of a family. He couldn't just experience his parents' love and support the ways most kids do because of the social and political systems that were in place. The confusion of not being able to fully connect with either his black or white sides and being forced to hide such a fundamental part of his life probably played a big role in shaping how he saw the world, and ultimately how he found his ways to survive and thrive in the world that tried to limit him.
It's really interesting how, even in the face of those big challenges, Trevor's mom, Patricia, always found ways to show him that the world didn't get to control their lives. She refused to let apartheid define their future. One of the most powerful things she did was make bold decisions that went against the system. For example, she would sneak Trevor into white neighborhoods even though it was illegal for them. This wasn't just about breaking the law. It was about teaching Trevor that they didn't have to be confined by the rules that society tried to use on them. She also made sure Trevor had every opportunity to thrive. She knew that in order for him to succeed, he needed to be able to go through different social groups. That's why she taught him multiple languages, helping him adapt to different cultures and connect with people from all ways of life. She was giving him the tools to survive in a divided world, showing him that he could move freely between the different worlds of South Africa, no matter how tough the system tried to be.
Now, let's talk about the people who had the biggest impact on Trevor's life, especially when he was a kid.
Yeah, like his mom, friends, teachers, and even his grandmother. They all played a part in how he shaped the world.
Trevor's mom, Patricia, is such a big part of the book and his life. What do you think makes her so inspiring and unforgettable as a parent?
Trevor talks about his mom's faith guided many of her decisions. Do you think her belief made Trevor stronger or more rebellious?
Trevor mentions his grandmother as being supportive and also strict. How do you think her influence brought a different kind of stability to his life compared to his mom's attitude?
We want to thank you for listening to our show today. We hope you enjoyed learning about Trevor Noah's early years and how the great people who shaped his life.
Next week, we'll have a great show for you. We're going to talk about Trevor's teenage years and how his humor helps him go through the tough situations. You wouldn't want to miss out.